That's like totally 1980s or something like that. But it's all about, coming home, appreciating the fact that you do have a place where you can hang your hats. It's just a really beautiful song. But I will say that it did fall short to another Disney Pixar film, that being Toy Story 3, We Belong Together. So, but yeah, like I said, Tangle was definitely a close second in there. But as soon as I heard this song, it was just an immediate click. I thought, okay, love this song, love it.
Nice. Well, good. We're moving on.
We're moving on to 2.
Yeah, my number 2 pick was Osea from Slumdog Millionaire, 2009. And honestly, Slumdog Millionaire opened my eyes to a whole different form of music, of Bollywood music, and how fun and colorful that type of music is. Like, the winner was another Slumdog Millionaire song, and honestly, Jai Ho should have won, and it really was, like, the theme of my 2009. Like, even in high school, like, we were all, like, doing a little dance, like, with Osea, which is the other song, at the end, like, the really cool Bollywood dancing and the awesome performance at the Oscar. It was just one of those that you're like, wow, this is beautiful music, beautiful dancing, and beautiful costume work. Slumdog Millionaire, one of those really amazing movies, too. So I had to put Osea in there, 2009. Great movie.
Very nice, very nice. Number 2, oh boy. The winning one from 2013 was Skyfall from the movie Skyfall, and honestly, I've heard that song so many times, it's just like, okay, give it a break, for the love of God, give it a break. But, yeah. But in 2013, there was another movie that I enjoyed very much, a little bit more of a, I don't know if I would say darker kind of humor, but one of those more adult humorish ones, that being from Ted, Everybody Needs a Best Friend. And honestly, can't really get any more detailed than that. It just talks about the story of how John and Ted are just growing up and how their lives are together and all the things that they went through, whether it be Halloweens and graduations, them meeting, who was Mila Kunis' character? I forgot what her name was. But, just having that friend that's, yeah. But just having that one friend that's always going to be there for you no matter what. And again, as much of a, adult comedy this is, it's a really, really good movie because it does show at the end, what true friendship is and how much, they kind of needed each other. I think that one thing that stood out from that movie was the whole, the Thunder Buddies deal. Whenever, thunderstorms were going off, they always were there for each other. But then when Ted was gone, you notice John, he was not scared of thunderstorms anymore, which, definitely kind of, you look at it, it's like, wow. So basically, you have no emotions even when your friend's gone. But it's kind of understandable because, Ted did get tore up. And then, of course, he comes back to life. Just, oh, man, just one of the most favorite scenes, but also one of the more, like, a little more, where his, like, face is all scrunched up. He's like, well, I'm kind of fucked up right now, but will you still love me? Nah, I'm just kidding. I thought it'd be funny if I was, like, partially retarded. Oh, man. Oh, man. Seth MacFarlane's a genius. But anyway, let's move on to our number 1 picks. What have you got, Tori?
Yeah, for best song, we kind of threw this in there at the end, and it's just one that always gets stuck in my head over and over, and that's why I had to put it as number 1, as Everything is Awesome from the Lego Movie in 2015. Another one of those performances on the Oscars where you remember it, and it was so much fun. Like, I was like, they're flipping, they're doing crazy stuff, just like in the Lego Movie when it was playing at the beginning and the end and the middle every time it played, because it played throughout that whole movie. But Everything is Awesome. That just gets stuck in your head, and it will be stuck in your head forever. But it's one of those songs that if it's stuck in your head, it kind of does put you in a good mood, and it's throwing positive vibes out there, and that's always a good thing. Like, some of those song choices on my list were a little sad, a little but Everything is Awesome always seems to put a smile on my face. And when you start singing it, I don't know one person who doesn't know that song. Even if they haven't seen the Lego movie, they will start singing it with you because they know the song. It's the easiest song to sing because it really just says everything is awesome a ton of times. So that's one of those that I'm like, everybody loved it. It's one of those Oscar songs that was actually a really, really popular song. So good job, Lego Movie. I enjoyed that.
Oh, man, Lego Movie was just amazing. And then they got Lego Batman coming out this month. Cheap plug. Number one pick is kind of the opposite of what Tori had, where she does something a little more happy, a little more, peppy, just like, oh, hey, fun times. This one's a little more depressing, but it actually is kind of an eye-opening movie. From 2016, and the winner was Spectre, Writings on the Wall. This was definitely a close runner-up, although I will make a little bit of a side note that Earned It from 50 Shades of Grey actually did clinch it almost for me, but then I heard this song and I'm like, oh wow, this is a very powerful song, and that's from The Hunting Ground, Till It Happens to You. And if you've not heard of The Hunting Ground, it's basically talking about the reality and the sad, it's a documentary film actually, and I'm definitely going to plan on watching this because it does kind of pique my interest a little bit, just to kind of see like all these stories. It's about sexual assault that happens on campuses, and a lot of the campuses are trying to actually hide that, where, first of all, that just mind blows me how many places on there. And when I was looking at the background of this song, seeing like all the names that came up there, first the one that came up was Harvard. I'm like, wow. So they're really trying to hide this kind of dark secret deal. And the song Till It Happens to You is sung by Lady Gaga, which surprised me in the long run because I have been giving Lady Gaga so much of a hard time for years. But then when I hear this song, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, she's a great singer and she definitely knows how to tell a great story. And I will say this, for those of you that have listened to this song, you kind of know what I'm talking about. But if you watch the music video, first of all, be very careful with watching this because it can get to be very graphic. It can be very, I think what they put in there was emotional distress in this one. And it's kind of one of those songs that it says, till it happens to you, you kind of don't know what it's like. And it definitely talks about how these women are getting sexually assaulted and how they feel just so vulnerable and they feel so weak after. But what I think I love about the music video is that at the end, it shows that each one of these women have somebody there to reassure them, to let them know that, hey, it's okay, we're here for you, we're here to support you, we're here to make sure that doesn't happen again. And that's always the reassuring thing, is that there is always going to be somebody there for you. Whether you know it or not, there's always going to be somebody there for you who's going to support you, who's going to care for you, and who's always going to give you that sense of stability, sense of safeness, even though this traumatic deal has happened. And honestly, I will probably do a review on The Hunting Ground in the near future because, like I said, it's one of those movies that actually piques my interest because I want to see what kind of goes on with it. But it's one of those things where it's like I'm really hesitant to watch it just because of the reality that it would have behind it. But that's my number one. Yes, a little more of a darker song to your happy and peppy, everything is awesome. But I think it was one of those songs that definitely needed to be high up there. Like I said, Writings on the Wall was great, but I think this one probably deserved it.
I mean, it's real. That's the type of stuff that happy is always great, but the realness and giving the feelings that the songs do are kind of how they win sometimes. And I kind of think before we move on, maybe should I say the nominees this year for original song?
By all means, yeah.
Yeah. All right. The nominees, and as you could guess, of course, La La Land is in here a lot, given that it has, 14 different nominations?
Yeah.
So watch out. It might steal this category. I could see it definitely stealing this category. Mm-hmm. What we have right now is Audition, The Fools Who Dream from La La Land. Can't Stop the Feeling from Trolls, which we all have heard that by Justin Timberlake. Can't Stop the Feeling.
Oh, gosh.
The City of Stars from La La Land again. The Empty Chair from Jim, the James Foley story, which I haven't heard that song yet. And then How Far I'll Go from Moana, sorry.
From Mona.
Right, like I know this is Moana. That's a good song right there. So I'm really excited to see if that one's going to win.
I will say this about the Oscars this year. It seems like a lot of the best movies came out like at the end of the year for some reason. It's really weird, but it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I mean, I guess they want to end it on a high note. And again, I will say, why was Deadpool not put in these categories? For the love of God.
They needed to write an original song. Then they would have made it.
Oh, gosh.
Next time, Ryan Reynolds, write a song for Deadpool. And sing it.
He just sings, X gonna give it to you, gonna give it to you, X gonna give it to you. And he could pull it off. I could see him definitely doing that.
Sadly, it's not an original song, though, for him. That's Exhibit.
I wouldn't care. I really wouldn't care.
The Academy would. We want him to win an award.
Oh, of course. All right. So, we're moving on from songs to Best Animated Feature, which I think that both of us are going to have quite a bit of a field day with this. So, let's just get right into it. If it's right with you, I'd like to actually start off with one that I mentioned this on last night's show that I did with my good co-hosts Spencer and Max, that I had one on here that I'm kicking off that is probably going to raise a bit of a debate. Because here's the thing. It's in 2014. The winner was Frozen. And I'm going to say this, that if Frozen did not come out this year, then I think that this movie would have had the win, and that being The Croods. I mean, honestly, cave people, first of everything, first Shades, first Wheel, first Fire, first Family Picture, which I thought is ingenious how they did that. And of course, the one guy's just saying like, "Oh, I think I blinked." It's like, really? Come on, dude. But this definitely deserved so much more credit than it did. And honestly, you have a star-studded cast like, Nicolas Cage, Emma Stone, Ryan Reynolds. Ironic. It's very hard to top this one, but Frozen definitely did win this one. So it was kind of hard for me to pick against Frozen, but I thought, if Frozen wasn't the winner, this would be definitely a close second.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I like The Croods. It was cute. And the funny thing is, I think that's also a DreamWorks picture. And the thing is, DreamWorks comes in second so much to Disney and these. Just, I don't know, I have to give it to either the writing or the animation, too, to me, just is so much better. And I'm about to do my number 5, which is How to Train Your Dragon in 2011, another DreamWorks that would have been number 2 to Toy Story 3, which is a Disney. So, and again, like, if you're saying, I'm not saying that it should have actually won over this. I'm just saying it was another good movie. Toy Story 3 was amazing. It deserved to win.
Yeah.
But like you said with Frozen, if Toy Story 3 wasn't there, then How to Train Your Dragon might have won. I mean, it had a lot of good family values, how he's trying to be something other than what his father wants him to be, which is always a great thing, and then showing friendship in something that you used to fear, getting over fear and building a friendship. I thought it had a lot of amazing themes in that movie, and of course it had dragons, so I have to pick it. But no, I kind of feel you on this. It's hard to pick over some of these winners because I feel like they were so right with picking the winners. Like Toy Story 3, yes, deserved to win. Frozen, yes, it deserves to win.
Yeah.
For our animated, I don't think we're going to have any debate because sadly, I think we both almost agree with the Academy on most of these.
Yeah.
But that's my number 5 for 2011, How to Train Your Dragon.
Well, there are going to be a couple on my list that I will probably more say that, mine was probably more inclined to win than the actual winner, but we'll get more into that a little later. Number 4 for me was in 2013, winner was Brave. I actually picked Wreck-It Ralph to possibly win the one, and honestly, can't get any better than that. Classic video games, modern day video game characters, everything that any gamer could ever want, plus Wreck-It Ralph is awesome. It's funny. And plus, I think what's crazy about this is I think this is the first time I saw or heard Sarah Silverman in a more of a family modern movie, because she's more I guess, more talking about like sexual jokes and more adult humor. But to see her kind of like tone down a little bit